Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar. Today I have a topic to talk about that's basically been hit at me everywhere for the last 2 days, ladies and gentlemen. One topic that's all about the YouTube partner program that sort of changed recently, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the partner program changed due to a lot of things, mainly because of that Suicide Forest video and a lot of other situations regarding adpocalypses, the various adpocalypses and the reason that they've occurred. Now, the larger YouTuber side of the spectrum basically cause a lot of issues to the entire platform, and of course there's many things behind it. Terrorist videos where a lot of where advertisement was placed on videos promoting terrorism or generally nasty stuff, and advertisers didn't goddamn like it. It seems like YouTube has developed a implementation that seems to fix or at least rectify and buffer a lot of the problems that the advertisers and a lot of the problem the community really had with the system entirely. Now, there's no doubt that there's a lot of spam, a lot of negative content that shouldn't be ad-friendly in some ways, and I'm talking about terrorist content. I'm not talking about issues with politics or anything of the sort. I think everything should be allowed, in terms of that, but of course advertisers decide what they want to portray their brand on and what they don't want to. They have a right as well. But a lot of advertisers have their choice of deciding what they want to put their stuff on, what they don't want to put their stuff on. Now, in this situation, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like YouTube has developed the implementation of limiting the smaller side of the smaller channels, if you will. Now, when the first apocalypse hit, the change to the partner program was already present. In fact, I think at the time, you needed about 10,000 total video views in order to even apply for the partner program. Now, what you don't know about the partner program is it basically allows you to get monetization on your videos, start making money on your videos, and I think, I'm not exactly confirming this, but I think there's also the added benefit of putting your own thumbnails on the video, but I don't think that's a partner program thing. But if it is, correct me on that. But basically, you miss out on one or two features and basically monetization, which is a lot of the reasons most of the channels really throw their applications out for. So today, YouTube implemented a different form of buffer along to that. So basically, what they did is they said, you need to have 1,000 subscribers at the minimum to apply. But beyond that, you need to have 4,000 hours of watch time in a 12-month period. Basically, that means you need to have people watching your videos for at least 4,000 hours. Now, a lot of channels, larger channels, they can hit that. This channel here hits that within a day easily, and there are a lot of other channels that do that. So for those channels who are moderate size, even smaller to moderate, and definitely large, don't suffer from this at all. We're talking about channels that are just starting, channels that are hitting, 100 views maybe per video, 50, 200, 500, 1,000 maybe, depending on a video. 1,000, I think, can kind of get away with it if they upload pretty regularly and consistently. So basically, to channels that are starting off, this is the hardest hitting at the most. Now, I'll tell you one thing. When it comes to 4,000 hours of watch time, roughly when it comes to advertising, that can pay about $100 to maybe $180, $200, depending on what season and what type of CPM you get. Typically, if you're a smaller channel, you're getting the earlier brigade of the CPM, and depending on what time you upload in the year, of course, January being the lowest and December being the highest, you make around $100 to $200. So basically, what this is that smaller creators miss out on $100 to $200 of possible revenue that they could have earned if their channel was partnered in this sense. Now, of course, in order to get their channel partnered, all they have to do is hit these two goals, and bam, they can apply for partnership and get into the system, and the whole world works. Now, a lot of people find this to be killing or ruining of small channels, and there's a lot that goes into it. For one, I do support this idea, and let me tell you why. YouTube itself has come across tons of spam, tons of problems that have arisen from just basically allowing anybody to upload. And when YouTube opened up their partner program in 2012 to almost everybody, it became a system of abuse. At least in this way, there's a little bit of a buffer, so it pleases almost everybody. Now, the problem with this situation is that if your channel is not in the partner program, the algorithm is sort of skewed against you. Now, nobody can prove this. Nobody has any definitive proof on this. In fact, Keemstar actually made a lovely, I think he guessed, or maybe he knows, is when it comes to the trending tab, for example, and nobody knows how the fuck trending works. Okay, you go on trending, a picture of a goddamn picture of two fucking rhinos banging is apparently trending in like Indonesia or some shit like that, possibly. But apparently Keemstar is still, I think he mentioned at one point that you could call in to YouTube headquarters and get your video on trending. I don't know if that's true or not, but the trending tab is maybe an algorithm, but it has some human intervention mixed into it. The thing about YouTube's search algorithm is it does definitely promote advertisable content over regular content for sure, and there's a normal reason for that. It's because YouTube needs to make money to pay the fucking bills. Obviously, they would like for every video to be advertised. They would like every video to have some form of ads on it, so they make a little bit of money per video. You can't do that, though, considering how much negative content may possibly get uploaded, and you definitely don't want to advertise on that, especially considering how much shit YouTube got into recently anyways. So in a way, what it comes down to is this idea isn't necessarily a bad one, but it can potentially kill channels that won't get exposure because they're just not going to be favorable by this algorithm. And that's, I think, one of the situations YouTube needs to change up, or at least be more transparent on. There used to be a point where YouTube at least told us somewhat. I think maybe in the course of my entire time here, I was sent one or two emails by YouTube and a direct call at one point from which I could ascertain just what the algorithm might have been. But of course, none of that is proven because it changes all the goddamn time. And could this potentially kill smaller channels by preventing them from showing up in search? Possibly, but there are already a million other reasons why your video won't show up in search. Obviously, there's some form of censorship. There's a lot of things that go into this. But as a whole, I don't think this is going to prevent a lot of smaller channels from growing. I think if your content is good, and I think if you're putting in consistent time into it, a lot of things with YouTube really rely on consistency and uploading at a pretty regular rate and generally being on time with this. This is a grind, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to enter the YouTube stardom train, I guess, it all comes down to you putting in the hours and grinding away at it. And if your product's good, then eventually it will take off. That's just kind of how the situation works. But I can definitely see why a lot of smaller channels are kind of up in arms about this situation, because obviously not being in the partner program can prevent you from putting in like custom thumbnails, a lot of quality of life stuff that sets you apart from other channels. And of course, does this correlate into you not basically being as palatable to the regular viewer? Maybe. But ultimately, I think it's a pill that we all kind of have to swallow, because considering how much shit YouTube recently got into, this is almost a perfect way to sort of deal with all of it in one final swoop. The YouTube Partner Program is not going anywhere. I think that if your product's good, eventually you'll reach up to the 4,000 hours of watch time in no time. Of course, it's a 12-month period. You got plenty of time to get 4,000 hours. And 1,000 subscribers, you can hit that if your content's good enough and you're definitely growing and growing and growing, which will happen. Of course, you have to put in the hours yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think this is something we all have to really worry about. It might sound like YouTube's completely choking out the smaller person, but I think losing $200 of your revenue source and losing custom thumbnails, at least at the start, is worth having a more secure platform for you to upload and feel at home at when it comes down to it, ladies and gentlemen. So I know that I'm kind of sounding like I'm sucking some YouTube cock right now, but I honestly, unless somebody can come up in the comment section with a better compromise, I don't really see how things can get a little better than this at this moment in time, ladies and gentlemen. So that's really all I have to say about this. I'm going to back out of this now, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I got some fucking weird game for me to play through. Spooky haunted gaming to edit, ladies and gentlemen. This is me, Mudahar, and I am out.